I want to officially welcome everybody to the administrator webinar. We're going to be covering strictly the features that are dedicated to the administrator. There are many things that are very specific and different from how we used to do administration in the previous system. If we see, there are a few things that I need to cover before we get directly into the tools. And important dates, I think at this point the most important thing is that we're going to be coming live on March 2nd with the new system. All the other deadlines are not really relevant at this point. So resources, like I mentioned, www.2015lms.com is the website where you're going to find all the webinars and all the latest information about the transition. The system requirements for this new platform are not, if you were able to use the old online training program, you shouldn't have had any problem using this new system. In fact, it does work on mobile tools. The only thing that this system, because it's updated much more frequently, make sure that you keep your browsers up to date with the latest versions. That is very, very important. So whatever browser you choose to use, whether it's Internet Explorer or Chrome, those are the ones that work the best. You can also use Safari if you're using Apple computers. So make sure that you always keep up to date on the browsers. And then for the mobile, this system is going to be ready for mobile courses. So you're going to be able to use tablets to look at the system. A couple of things that we need to be aware of regarding the tablets. If you can get the full size, it would be better, because even though we changed the layout of the courses to make them simpler and for better viewing in the tablets, if you get some of the smaller ones, it might get a little tight. And the same thing will apply to the smartphones. But you have there all the requirements for the mobile operating. So let's get straight into what happens with the new administrator position. I'm not going to deal with the vocabulary. I think what we need to know for sure is that there are different positions on how there's a difference in how rights and access is going to be allocated in this system. In the previous system, if you were an administrator, your personal account had that access. In this new system, we're doing something different. Everybody that had an account in the previous system that has completed a course since January 1st, 2012 will have an account in the new system. So if you haven't done any completions and you were managing the program but you never completed an account yourself, you will not have an account in the new system. Only those accounts that had a completion since January 1st, 2012 will be moved into the new system. So that's the first thing that you need to be aware. If you had an account as an administrator, when you come into the new system, you are going to be a student. All the personal accounts are going to be students. So if you want to train, you're going to be using your personal account to do your personal training. The administrator position is going to be a generic position that is going to be shared by multiple people. So we're not going to have 15 administrators in a store. What we're going to have is just one account that is going to be accessible to all those 15 people and anybody else that needs to have access to be able to use that account. That way we make sure that there's always an account that is active for each store. That if somebody leaves and that account gets deactivated, then no store is left without an administrator. There is also going to be a curriculum coordinator position, and that's going to be the webinar that we're going to do tomorrow. We're going to dedicate it to that. But basically, that position is an above and beyond anything that you will need to manage your program. A curriculum coordinator is basically a position to create learning plans. So if you want to create a curriculum for your onboarding, a curriculum for your cashiers, a curriculum for your people in the meat department, those specific abilities are going to be given, rights given to curriculum coordinators, and there's going to be a cost of $250 annually for that position. And the reason is that for every curriculum coordinator position that we have out there, we need to do a special setup, and every time a new course comes out, all those positions need to be updated individually. So there is a lot of maintenance work on that, so that's why we have it separate. We can talk more about this position later on. So today, let's go and talk a little more about our administrator position. So like I said, it's going to be one administrator per branch, and a branch can be a store or it could be a headquarters. That is the top that you're going to have per branch. It can be shared by multiple users, and you're going to have rights, like in the old system, from your branch and anything that is below that. There's going to be a generic username and password for the administrators, and these administrators is going to be admin, and the hashtag means the store code. So if your store code is 123, your admin username is going to be admin123, and your password is going to be admin123. At the current time, as of today, we are creating new administrators, so there is a chance that when you log in on Monday, your administrator position would have not been created as yet. So if you need to have one immediately, you can give us a call and we'll give you precedence, and we'll create your administrator right away. But please, I just ask you to be patient with this. At this time, we have over 3,500 administrator positions to create manually. So, so that's why I ask for your forgiveness and understanding. So if you really need an administrator because you need to add new people right away that are waiting for training, please give us a call and we will take care of you right away. So what are the administrator functions? Basically, you're going to have access to the dashboard, which is the place where you can oversee everything that's been going on in training in your store. The main functions of the administrator is basically to add new users, edit and update and do the maintenance for those new users, and then do all the reporting tools. So those are the main tools for the administrator. So when you get into an administrator menu, you're going to have that little circle with the admin in your sidebar, and those are the features that you're going to have for your administrator. Basically, the dashboard, the users, the courses is just to look at the list of courses, because really you can't do much with them, but you need to have access to the course list in order for your reports to give you information regarding the courses. So you're going to have in there the list of all the courses that are available in all the languages for all the stores. So not much to do with that feature. So we're going to concentrate basically in the users and the reports piece of the program. So let's look at what's happening with the users. The users, you're going to be able to manage anybody that is at your level and below. You're going to be able to add new users. If you have a bunch of people, you have now the new feature of multiple users, so you can get everybody in a spreadsheet and then upload that spreadsheet and everybody will be automatically registered. It's not as easy as it sounds, because you have to build your spreadsheet to meet the requirements of the fields that are required for you to upload somebody. But I'm going to give you a sample for a sample spreadsheet to do that multiple user registration. Then you're going to have the ability to look for anybody, update any piece of their information, and you're going to be able to, and this is new here, you're going to be able to take somebody who's an active user and suspend their usage, which is basically inactivating their account. But their history still remains in the system. in this system, different than the old one, you're going to be able to delete accounts. So somebody goes bye-bye, you know you're never going to see them again, you know you're never going to need their history. You can actually delete those accounts. And that's especially useful when you have duplicate accounts, or where you have an account for somebody that actually never stayed in the store, and then you just don't care about that particular record. So you are going to be able to do a more in-depth maintenance of this system. So now let's work on the features that you're going to have available. So let's look at how we do a search for a user. And there's a couple of things that we need to take into consideration. You're to log into the system, you're going to go wherever it is that you go right now to access the current system. And you're going to click the new login, new online training login button, and that's going to take you to this particular login page. And there are a couple of things that we need to know for any particular user. If you're using your account, just make sure, and your account is being transferred from the old system into the new one, make sure that your username and password is typed in uppercase, because this system is case sensitive. So that is a big difference. If not, if you're trying to test your administrator account, just type, like I said, admin and your store code in the username and the password field, and then just click sign in, and you're going to be able to go in. And when I go in this case, this account has a learning plan. In your case, you will go straight to the My Courses catalog, and that's what you will be seeing. But on the sidebar, you're seeing here that I have my admin menu. And to get to the users, I'm just going to click users. And we're going to be working in this window for quite a bit. So the first thing that I want you to be aware of is how do you find somebody. And if you have multiple stores, the search feature will be determined by whatever branch it is. So this area that I'm seeing here, that I'm highlighting here in blue, this is what tells me the branches. This would be the hierarchy of my organization. So if I have multiple stores, in here it would be Docebo RLI, and this group has two different stores. One is RLI Demo, and the other one is Exact Learning, for example. So if I want to search for somebody, I can choose to look at the whole system if I click the highest level of my organization, or I can choose to search for any particular one of them. So I'm going to choose online training, which is the highest level that I have, and I'm going to come in here in this search box that I have here, and I'm going to be typing, I want to find somebody that is, I'm going to look for an RLI student. So I type RLI, and the system goes and looks at all the files, usernames and names. Both are included in the search here, and it finds anything that has RLI. So I'm looking for the RLI student, so I choose that one. Oops, give me a second here. RLI student, and when I go down here on the bottom, I have all my RLIs chosen. And when I go down here, this is basically a list of the people that are meeting that criteria. But if I click on a store or group, that will show me the people that are in that particular store. So that's a different way of searching. So you can search by a specific string of characters for the username or their first name and last name, or you can go and look and open basically whatever branch you have access to and look at all the people that are in that branch. So once you get your people in here, there's a couple of things that you can do. I mean, you have the basic information, which is their username, first name and last name, their email, the last time they accessed the system, and when their account was created. And then I have this little green icon there, and that tells me that that's an active user. So if I want to inactivate somebody, what I have to do is just click on that, And then the system, okay, you want to deactivate that person? And I click yes, and that will cancel that. But I think I choose the administrator, so I don't want to inactivate the administrator. Let me pick the student. And so, yes, I want to proceed. I confirm. And now my status symbol becomes gray. So that means that that person is inactive. There is something else that I can do. I can delete. So I'm going to click on that menu button that I have there on the side. And then I'm going to go ahead and click delete. And that is going to delete, delete that individual. So I have to confirm that deletion. And then the system will remove that file entirely with all the history of that person, like it was never in the system. So I'm going to go again, and I'm going to activate that account. So all I have to do is just click on the gray circle with the check mark and then confirm that I want to activate that person. So that's what I have to do with the search of a user. So there is an advanced search. So let's look at what you do with an advanced search. That is the button that it's a link that it's here on the side. So if I click advanced search, what I can do is I can search for any item that it's in the student profile. So if I want to pull everybody that is from Chicago, as soon as I click that advanced search link, I'm going to get this advanced search area displayed. And it's going to allow me to do different filters for any, and these filters are basically the fields that are in the user profile. So I can come and say, I want to search for all the people that are in Chicago. So when I click select, I add that filter, so it's going to give me this extra row that is for the city, which is the field that I want to filter for. And then I want to look for people that are in Chicago. So I type Chicago. And then I will use this little magnifying glass for the search that is within the advanced search area. And that is going to come and look for people who are in Chicago. And these 3 accounts, obviously, they are in Chicago. So let me see if I can get rid of them here to do a different search. So let me look for RLI demo. And then I'm going to look for Chicago. And then when I click on that, then it pulls the people that are in my Chicago site. And I can search for I can put additional conditions. So I want to say, I want to look for anybody whose first name is RLI. And I don't want to look for Chicago. Or I can leave both instances open, and I'm going to search my whole system for anybody who's from Chicago. So I search again, and then it pulls out my 3 people from Chicago who are also having first name RLI. So that's how you can do a more specific search, especially if you have larger groups. So I'm going to cancel this and close that so that does not interfere. So now let's look at what should we be looking next. So let's look at, this time we went on how to inactivate users and delete the users. So now let's look at updating any user that we may have available. So to update a user, what we need to do is just go find our user, and then we have that little menu button there where we had the edit, the delete button. Then we can go and look at edit. And that edit will take me to the user profile. This is exactly the same screen you're going to get when you are adding a new user. So what I have to do, this gray black bar here that it's vertical is basically your scroll bar. So that's a little different in here. So these are all the fields that are now in a user profile. And you have to have them all filled out, because if you don't fill them out, when that person goes in to use the account for the first time, the system is going to require them to complete those fields in order to allow them to access the system. So you're better off adding them already. Notice that the password will always be blank. So if somebody forgets their password, you have to assign them a new one. It has to be a reset because the system, there's no way to pull out what the password is other than going into the login page and clicking lost my password, and then the system will send it to you. But as an administrator, you don't have the ability, and even I, as the system manager, will not have the ability to pull out anybody's password. So keep that in mind. There are two fields that I want to talk about, and these are new. It's the birth date. The birth date is only required for people who are doing courses in Montana, because certain certifications require the birth date to make the certificate valid. If you're not in Montana, if your employees don't feel comfortable putting their birth date, just either type a question mark or type not applicable, and we're going to be fine with it. It's not going to be a required field for you. Just type something in there. We also are going to have the departments, and you can pick from the departments that we have defined for every organization. And you always have the option to choose other. Other areas that are very, very important is the store code. Before, the store code was a confidential one, and in this case, in this system, the store code really doesn't trigger anything other than identifying the store that you belong to. You cannot do anything with the store code. In the old system, you were able to register students with that. In here, only an account that is an administrator will be able to register students. So you're not going to go outside to register students. You have to log in as an administrator in order to create new students. So that's why that store code is open. But make sure that your students have the right store code, because in the future, when we're making some upgrades to the system, the store code is going to determine. In here is just an informational field, but in the future, this store code is going to link you to a particular organization. So it's going to become really critical, important to have the right one. So this is all the fields for the user profile. But if you look here on the side, you also have a branches page. So I click on that, and that is telling me to which branch that student belongs to. So if you have multiple stores, you can click on the triangle and then choose a different branch. So when you have to move people from one store to another, this is where you will do it. You just go in, find the student, click the menu, click edit, and then you're going to be able to choose the branches and change the person. So I'm going to close from here, and I'm going to go back to our menu. So we already updated students, made some changes. I just want to show you now back to where we have to do new users. So if you look at the top of the screen in the user menu, you have here the new user link. And so all I have to do is click on the new user, and it's going to open for me a new user page. So here I come in and type everything that I need to type for that particular user, and then I click on the branches and I assign them to the branch. Keep in mind that if you had before you go and select a new user, if you have any particular branch selected, the system should recognize that and then select that branch for you. See, it automatically recognized that I was active in that particular branch, and when I register a new user, it automatically thought that I wanted to put that new user in that branch. So that will determine where the student goes, but you always can adjust the user to the branch that you want. So I'm going to close that because we don't want to create a new user, but that's basically all it takes. So it's pretty easy and straightforward. Now I'm crossing my finger because I have never been able to have it work whenever I do the demos, but I keep insisting, and this is going to be my attempt to import multiple users. So all I have to do is click on import users, and I need to find the file that I want that has all my new users. So I click choose file, and I go to my desktop wherever I have my student spreadsheet, and I select it. I click open in my window. And then you can see here that it recognizes, okay, you're importing the Docebo sample students CSV. The file that you picked up, it's going to be a spreadsheet, but it has to be saved as a CSV file. Excel file will never be able to be uploaded. So make sure that you work on Excel, but when you save that file, you save it as a CSV, not as an Excel workbook. So I recognize my people in my file, and then I tell the system where I want to register those people. So I can pick the branch where that group of people is going to go. So I'm going to use the RLI demo, and I confirm that, and then I click Next. And when I click Next, what the system does, it pulls just a few files from that spreadsheet so I can match the fields that are in my spreadsheet to the fields that are in the user profile. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. These drop-down boxes are the fields that are in the system, and the ones below are the columns of the information that it's in my spreadsheet. So the system is smart. It recognizes that my first column is username. So it says, okay, you're matching username to username, first name to first name, last name to last name, email to email, password to new password, and that is totally fine. And then when it comes to other fields, it just doesn't know exactly where to put them. So in language, I do open the drop menu, and I'm looking for language. So I look for the language field, and I'm telling the system, okay, pair this information to the language field, to the branch. It's basically the branch name, so branch to branch, birth date. I fill and match it here because see, it's written differently in the spreadsheet, in the profile from what I have in my spreadsheet, and that's probably why the system is not recognizing it. For department, I'm going to click department, and then for the store name, the same thing. So store name and branch are both the name of your store, but one is the name of this that the system gives to that folder where the people are going to be sitting, and the other one is the store name that is in the student profile. So that's why basically you have the repetition there. But it's absolutely necessary so if you're going to match these spreadsheets. So store code, yes, I want to match that to store code. The store address, and I have to match all this information in order for this to work. So I'm in city, then I'm on state, and then the zip, which is zip code in the system. I keep moving my scroll bar to match the other fields. So I do state here. No, I'm sorry, that's country. And then phone. And then notes, I'm not importing. And notes is one of the fields that you have when you create a user account and when you do maintenance. So you can write any notes in there. But keep in mind that these notes fields, the students will be able to see them. So if there's any information that is confidential, that it's related to the store, to any grades, or anything that you don't want the student to see, don't put it in the notes space in the student profile. So I'm not going to import notes right now, and I'm just going to click submit. And the system, it's importing 5 out of 7, and it's successfully completed the upload of 6 users. There's one that failed to import. And when that happens, I can click download, and it's going to give me kind of a report. So it has a download report here in Excel for the errors. Then it tells me, oh, it's not a big deal. It seems like I just had an empty row in my original spreadsheet, and that's why it recognized that there was an active row, but it didn't have any information in there, so it didn't pull out anything. And so I have no problem. So if I go now, I'm going to close out of here. So I'm going to close my import and I put these new people in my RLI, and the system knows that I'm going to be looking for them. And these are the 6 people that I just got imported in here. These people with the M test 1 through 5 here, this whole group, this is the people that I just updated. So I'm going to be posting online that same spreadsheet that I have, so you know what information to put in, and you can use that as a sample. Be aware, please, that we have additional fields. So the sample spreadsheet that the system gives you automatically is not going to work because it's going to have missing fields. So here, when you are trying to do an import of users with a spreadsheet, there is a download sample CSV. But this is the basic standard for everyone. It will not apply to you. So, because we have more fields than this. So don't use this one. Use the one that I'm going to be posting in our administrator course online. Okay? That's important. So let's take a peek at our PowerPoint and see where we are right now. So we updated users. We register a new user, so we went through that. We tried the multiple users, and we did that successfully. And now let's talk about the store. When we are talking about the store management, if you need to add a branch, you need to add a new store, that we have to do for you. So just make sure that if some new group of people from a different store than the ones that you have currently in the system need to be added, you must contact us for us to do that for you. So let's look at now what information do you have available to you to see what's going on with your students, and that is the dashboard. The dashboard is basically a summary of training activities for your whole group. And this, I think it's better if I show it to you in a full size here. So I'm going to go on the side menu to the admin, and then I'm going to select dashboard here. And that is going to open my dashboard for this particular group. So this will match whatever that administrator level is. And I have some quick links up here that we're going to be talking later. We already saw the new user, and we already saw the import multiple users. These other two we'll touch in a little bit. The filter date is just going to reduce the information that you get in here for a particular period of time. It also gives you a quick link to the reports, but I'm not going to go from here. I'm going to take you to the reports page so we can look at it in detail. So you can, but this is kind of the shortcut. The alerts are related to the courses. We manage the courses, so you don't have to really worry about this. Recent activities. This section is going to be tracking your users. So every different color is going to represent a different row. So this group obviously is not having much activity because this is just my demo community. So if I roll over any of the nodes, it's going to tell me, in this case, is the dark blue, so these are enrollments, and it's telling me you actually only had enrollments on the 17th of February, and there was just one enrollment that I'm recording in here. If I scroll down, I have the other number of sessions and course completions. They're all rolling down here at the bottom because there haven't been any in this particular group for this time period. And this is a one month time period, so from 26 to the 26th. And then I have a summary here to the right side where it tells me the number of sessions. And today we had sessions. We have increased the number of sessions for today and for the week. In terms of course completions, there has been an increase today and for the week. And in terms of enrollments, we also have well, it says an increase, and we haven't had any today, a drop for the week and I'm not sure what this is reading because there's no enrollment data here. So let's keep looking down, and then on the course and student status, these two different graphs, one tracks the courses, and the 100% of the courses are always going to be active because you're always going to have access to all the courses that are in the system. They're all going to be working. If you pull any course out for maintenance, which is never going to happen because what we do is we just update and then replace, that will be the place that you will notice that. And then when we look at the one for the students, which is the one that has the little people inside, the little silhouettes, it's telling me that of the students that have courses assigned to them, 39 of those courses, 39% of the courses, my team has not even started. So out of the courses that I assigned to them, 39% have not started those courses. And then 47% of the courses that have been assigned to them are in progress, and then 14% have been completed. So this is looking at your group as a whole. And then we have the least completed courses and the most completed courses, which in this case needs to be, it turns out to be the same because this is the only course where we have any sort of enrollments in there. And obviously the percentage doesn't match because it doesn't have anything to compare it with. So that is basically, when you have data for your group, this is going to look a lot different. So these graphs are going to be a lot more interactive, but we don't have much things going on here. The dashboard, it has one advantage, and you will probably would like to see, there is something, the personal summary is one of the reports, but it kind of gives you access to it in multiple places. So it's here where you can click user personal summary, and it takes me to this account user personal summary. But if I want to see somebody else, I want to see the RLI student personal account, I can click generate, and it's going to find me the RLI student, and it's going to give me all the activities for this student. And this summary is very important because it not only summarizes the student history, I can print it here, or I can download it as a PDF. And this will include not only this statistics page for the student, would also include the additional information, which is basically the fields for the student, the courses, history of the students, and this is something that you're going to like. In here, this particular student has one completion. So now, as an administrator, you can generate the summary for any student and come in here and print their certificate. So now you do have access to the student certificates. You don't have to go out and log in into their account. You can pull it out from here. So I click on that little icon of the certificate, and it downloads it as a PDF. So that is a neat feature that should be making your life a little easier. Also on the student summary, you're going to have access to their learning plans if there are any assigned to them. And then the classroom, we don't have anything going on in terms of classroom, and the social, we don't have that feature active for usage at this time. So let's go back to the admin dashboard, and let's see what else do we have here. The ability to change somebody's password. So you can either go to somebody's account and update it there, make the change there, or you can just click password. And this change password, I stand corrected, is for my personal account. That's the only thing that is going to apply. Select a user. Oh, okay. So I don't know how it would allow me to change, to pick anybody else's, but in this case, it gives me the option to change it, and it will be changing mine. So that is the dashboard. Now let's look at the reports. And at the reports, again, you have that user personal summary. That's a quick way to do. You can also see a course summary of a particular course. I don't know, let me see, a course that is completed grocery. Let's see, I'm going to look at the grocery stocker and I'm going to generate that report for the grocery stocker. And it's going to tell me what has happened in my group for that course. So I have users that have completed the course within 30 days from their enrollment. Half of them has. I have 2 people enroll in that course. 24 days since the course was introduced, and how many training materials that course has. It's 4. And those are the learning objects that we discussed yesterday for the student. And then we're going to see the progress. We have 1 person that is working on the course and 1 person that has completed. And then it tells me here that I have 2 people. This refers to people using, these are the sessions. So there's a number of sessions that, there were 2 sessions in January for this course, and then in February, so far we have 7 sessions on that course. And then I have the list of the users that are completed for that are enrolled in that course. So that's a neat feature there. So that is my course summaries, and again, you can print it and save it as a PDF straight from there. So that's my course summary. Then if we're looking at the reports, we have the standards report here to the right. And users courses is going to give me all the information for my users and the courses that they are enrolled in. Users on delay is for courses when there is a deadline tied to it. We're not using that feature right now. Users and learning objects is going to give me the details of their testing and their results, what they have completed or not. And then courses to users, here I can choose to see a course and then all the users that are related to that course instead of driving it by user. So basically, users and courses and users is basically the same report. It's just the information is flip-flopped. And then groups and courses will not help you because we don't have groups. And this is a feature that we're going to be adding in the future, where we're going to allow you to create different groups of users in your store, where you can have all the cashiers be part of a group, and then you can report for that particular group. So you can have those groups be in whatever kind of across the system you want to split people. So it could be by their job position, it could be by whether they're associates or managers, whether they have administrator rights. However you want to create those groups, you're going to be able to do that, but that's a future release. So to use a course, I'm going to run the user courses, which is the one that you're going to be using the most. All I have to do is click view or download and export the report. One thing to know, we're working into customizing this. When I do a view report, basically the system is going to give me everything. Every user that has enrolled in every course, I'm going to get it all in the report here. So if you want to see a particular time period or a particular person, then you either have to customize the report, and for people or for classes, time-wise, the system is always going to give you everything in the standard reports. So there is a lot of information in this report. It tells me the branch, the username, first name and last name, the email, the level, and they are all learners. Whether suspended and suspended date, that is the status of that account of that student, the code of the course name, the category that that course belongs to, the registration date, the subscription date, the first time the course was accessed, the completion date, if there's any, and then the status of the course, and finally the number of sessions, the time spent in that particular course, and credits. And credits is going to be 0. That is a future usage column. So as you can see, there is a lot of information. So you might want to actually, I'm going to go back in to view it. And I can choose an action from here. And if I get the information that I want, I can choose to export it to an Excel file. And it's going to give me everything in there. And I can click download. And then I have my file here at my downloaded bar to open that particular data. And I can add, remove fields, I can sort, I can do all sort of manipulation of this particular data. So that is what I do when I download the report. Let me just don't save this and let me just close it. But if there's a report that you know you're going to be running consistently, there are some neat features that you can do here. Now, you can create your custom report. And to create a custom report, you have to base it on any of the reports that we currently have. So I'm going to base it on the user's report, user courses report, and I'm going to say this is my demo user course report. And I'm going to click next. And then I can choose the users. So I want to run, maybe make this special report for my management. And I can choose who my managers are. Or I can choose all my employees by clicking select all. Some word of advice. This selecting all here will select everybody in your group. There is another way of selecting. Oops. I'm sorry. Let me go back here to users. I'm going to unselect all. If I click the checkbox next to username down here, what is selecting, in this case, they all filled in one page. If I had multiple pages, like I have, I don't know, 200 employees, and I use this feature, it's going to choose only the people that are in the first page. If you want to select the whole team, then you want to always make sure that you use the select all feature that it's up here. If you want to run a particular report for a particular person, then you might just want to search for a particular student here and select that individual. Groups I'm going to skip because we don't have that set up as yet. And then for the branches, there is one little trick. You can actually select all, and that will select all the stores in your group. Or you can come and select one. And when you select one, it's always going to be that kind of minus or dash icon. If I go to the top of the hierarchy, I have that dash. So what it's doing is selecting this online training and Docebo. But if I open Docebo Learning, you see it didn't trickle down. If I want the selection to trickle down and select all the descendants, I double click. And then that double click selects everything below. So one click select that particular branch, two clicks select the branch and everything below. So that's important when you're deciding what data you want in your report. So I'm going to leave it as is. I select my users. I selected my branches. I'm going to click next. And now I'm going to select the courses. And in here, there's every single course that is available in the system. It doesn't matter what language, so nitpicking on this can take you hours because there are, over last count we did was like about 416 courses. It will take you forever to pick, unless your particular purpose for this custom report is to do only that particular course. So let's see, we want to do only the Apple's, people who are enrolled in the Apple's course, for example. And I'm going to click next. And then I come here to a filter and selection of the fields. So filter, I can say, well, I want to know everybody that has past 10 days since they were subscribed to the course. So only if you subscribed to the course 10 days later, 10 days ago or later, you will be in this report. Or I can specify any expiring date for the course or courses expiring before. In our case, this will not work because all our courses have an extended duration. They don't have expiration dates. So you can ignore these ones. But the only one that you really can use is how many days from their subscription. So if you just want to see how many people are following up with their courses, this might be something you want to consider. But I'm going to leave it blank right now. In the fields, this is a summary report, so I just want to see their first name, their last name. I know all their personal information. I just don't care only about the course name. I don't care about the category or the status or any of that. I want to, in their enrollment level, I want to know the completion date if they completed it. And statistics, maybe I want to know how many sessions and how much time they have spent. So this would be my report. So I click next, and then it creates that report, and it gives me 3 choices. Okay, I can schedule that report. So for example, if this is a report that I want to see it daily, or I want to run it every 3 months or every year or weekly or monthly, I can choose a repetition for that, and then I can tell it, well, at what time do you want the report? So I want it at 8 a.m. and I want the report to be sent to my account, and the system will find me there, and it will send it to my account, and then I confirm, and that report will be scheduled. So now you see, when I did that, now the report will be run on that particular schedule. Okay? So that would be, if I want to view the report, I'm sorry, not download, I want to view the report, it will run it for me automatically, but it will also run it on that schedule and will send it directly to my email address. So you don't have to run it all the time. It's there when you need it. So this is the information that meet that requirement. So it's telling me only the reports that were, the courses that were, the enrollments for the Apple's course, and it's giving me only the first name and the last name and the branch, because those are defaults. It's telling me the number of sessions, the time that people are spending in that course, and only 1 person have completed it. So this would be very good if you have a special initiative or something like that. So that is what we have in terms of reports. Let me go back to the screen. So I can come in here and customize these reports. I can make them active or deactivate them. I can run them. I can manipulate them here, change the scheduling date, edit the actual report. So now I don't want to do it to be for Apples. I want it to be only for the produce courses, because that's what I have in my system. So in here, let me put do not disturb. So this, I can still, even though I created this report, I still can go back in and make any changes to it. So that's what we have for reports. Are there any questions? I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to open open all the mics and open to your questions. So feel free to shoot me your first question. I'll be more than happy to address it.
I mean, this would be good if once you got very familiar with the program.
Oh, that's good. So do you think it compared to the old one that this system would be easier and better?
Absolutely.
Okay, I'm glad to hear that. I just want to give you a few words of caution, and I just want to emphasize it again. We are running behind in creating those administrator accounts, but we will make our best to have it ready when you need it. And like I said, if it's not available when you go in, just give us a call and we'll give it priority. Okay. Any other questions, comments?
Anna?
Uh-huh.
I have a question. This is Nisha speaking. I've got a couple of questions. I've got a couple of quite a few of my members of staff who've done all the courses and kind of completed them, and they've also kind of won a couple of prizes, but they haven't used it since 2012. so they are not going to be transferred onto here, right?
Yes, if they haven't done any training since January 2012. They will not be transferred. So
they completed it before that, way before that, and they kind of, covered pretty much a lot of them, well, everything that was pertaining to their job.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they actually stand? There's no way of actually checking what they had done or anything like that from before, or getting them recorded. There's no way, right?
They will not be transferred into this system. You will have to add them manually so they can have accounts and access to the new system. The historical data, it's not available. I mean, we will have before the existing system goes down, we will do a mass archive, but that's not data that can be pulled in and out. What you can do is just give me a call later, and I'll be able to see if we can pull something for the history. I mean, the only solution for that was to have done a historical report for your group, because that's the only data that can be pulled out.
I see.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Other questions?
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I just have one more question. You have up until this system goes live on March the 2nd.
Uh-huh.
And if I needed a couple of them to start something, I know you've already set up a couple of accounts. Can you set up a couple more so I can have those people recorded onto this new system or not? And get them to complete a few from now?
What was in the old system, that data has been already cut out and sent for upload. I am very, very hesitant to do any as of today. I mean, as the system stands, to do any changes to either of those systems, because when we're going to be trying to marry all that data, anything that is duplicated, that conflicts, is going to throw the whole overlap off. So I would say, if you can, I would say please wait until March 2nd. I mean, it's only a couple of days to get those people trained, because the possibility of messing up data transfers is not worth the risk.
Okay. And the store code, is that something that is the same as before, or you're going to be creating a new one?
It's going to be always the same as before. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that will not change.
Okay, good. Those are my questions.
Oh, great. Thank you. Thank you so much, Anisha. Any other questions, guys?
Anna?
Yes, go ahead.
If I have one person that I need to sign up, is that something that you could do for us, and then we don't have to rush on the administrator part?
What do you mean?
I have one student that's fairly new that we've not signed up, and I can wait. I can just hold off on putting her in, but I thought it was something you guys could easily add her on your end before our administrator part is up and running.
Okay. Are you currently in the, were you a user from the old system? Is your store group from the old system?
Yeah.
Okay. The same thing with Nisha. We will have to wait. If you don't have the administrator, you can send us the data, and then March 2nd, we will be able to help you with any registrations that you may have. Because there are some people that chose to, there's two different groups of users right now. There were some stores that wanted to keep their history, and that data is going to be moved over. Some people chose not to transfer their data and start brand new. And those that are starting brand new can certainly add users and work with their system right away, because there's not going to be any data conflict. So if you're inheriting something from the old system, we will have to wait until March 2nd.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't want you to feel rushed. And
Yeah. No, if you send it to me on March 2nd and your administrator position is not ready, we will certainly will get your students set up. no problem with that.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I was looking at the data. I mean, and we're talking about hundreds of thousands of records. And if one record gives an error, the whole thing goes down. So that's why I want to make sure that we have what we can deliver, what we promised March 2nd, and then from there on we can play with it because it's going to be our full system at that point.
Okay.
So any other questions? Going once, going twice. My email is Velasquez at IGA INC. You can give us a call at 773-695-2611, and we will be more than happy to help you with anything that you may need. And then that PowerPoint, I'm going to still tweak it a little more today, so it should be ready for tomorrow for you to download in the 2015lms.com site. Okay?
Yes.
Okay. If there are no other questions, I will let you go. You can go ahead. Nisha, you have something else?
I was just wondering, from the people who are on this administration webinar with me today, how many of you are actually doing the certificate and also maybe a pin to go with it?
We do the certificate, and we are working on some sort of an incentive program for them completing programs.
Yeah, because I think, from feedback I'm getting from my employees, they were telling us, well, it kind of came back from the grapevine that they wanted some kind of recognition, and we thought they wanted like monetary recognition. We were like, oh. But then when we talked to them, they said, we just want a pin. And I'm like, oh, my goodness. I mean, that is such a doable thing. And they wanted that for the courses, but they also wanted that for the number of years of service. And I was like, well, that would be a lot of pins that they'd be wearing on their lapels.
And that will make them really happy. I've seen people with a lapel overload, but they love it.
Yeah, they love it.
It's not the first time that I hear that.
So it is a good thing to do, right?
Yeah.
We're actually have been discussing doing like a board in the break room with just like gold stars on it, because we've made them a couple times for just silly little things that they've done, but kind of above and beyond their regular duties. And it's so funny how much they like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's such as simple as, and I was thinking maybe we should give them like $100, $200, and my husband, of course, he was like, what? Every person, are you kidding me? So then we thought, okay, well, what do they really want? Let's just ask them, So when we asked them, they said, well, why can't we just have a pin? And I'm like, oh my goodness, wow, we can do that for sure. So Anna, do you think you'd be able to have something that we can, of course, pay for and order? Could we have something along those lines?
We have the 1, 3, and 5-star pins.
Oh, okay, yeah. Oh, I think I've seen them, yes.
Yeah, those.
Oh, okay.
Those are already available. I have those here in the office. Let me see if I can go to our website. And there is a form there for you to order. So if since you're IGA, I'm going to go to the IGA. Top webinars. What is it? Recognition, compliance training. They change this website so often that I'm always lost. Top organizations, classroom resource center, articles, webinars, training. Let's see. Video, top organizations, my tips winner, webinars, online training orientation, learning incentive program. That's what it's called. Learning incentive program.
Oh, yes. Okay. Nice.
And then here you click on the button on the right side, and it's just $2 per pin.
Yeah, and I guess some of us who might be starting this fresh, I think it's kind of a nice thing. And like for myself, I've got a few of them. I've already done it. I can order this and say, okay, you've got this, but now move forward and let's do a few more. There's lots of more courses. Maybe I could incentivize them like that. So.
Yeah, you can have maybe one that is time-based. I mean, you completed your onboarding first 3 months, you get your PIN for the 3 months, and then when you complete your 5 years or your 2 years training program, then you have those PINs match those.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, or you can use the same one and then just attach a different value to them.
Like you mean 1 year, 3 years, and 5 years?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sounds good.
Yeah. So if they've been that long and they have completed all the courses that are required, then they would get that particular PIN. So.
Okay. Got you. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So we have those available here. It's just the cost of the PIN and the shipping that we will charge.
Yeah.
We're really not making any money on that. It's just a service.
It's a good idea. Okay, I will be definitely looking into that. Are you going to be doing a rerun of your course for yesterday? I was in another meeting.
It is online. If you go to 20. Okay, let me just open here.
IMS.
Yeah, 2015lms.com.
Yes.
And then you come here to webinars, to the top menu of webinars. You will see it there, Student Tools. It's the first one, so you open that up, and you have the video there and the presentation. And that presentation I'm updating too, so you can take a look at it, but I have to tweak today's presentation and yesterday's presentation. So, but those are what I used on those particular dates.
Okay, very good. Thank you.
Not a problem, my pleasure. Any other comment or question? Well, I'm just going to let you ladies go and have a wonderful afternoon. And any questions, please send us an email, give us a call. We'll be more than happy to address it. Okay, have a good afternoon.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. Bye.